Hi everyone, welcome back to another video for Phantasy Star Online Blueburst, and this is going to relate specifically to the Ephinea server today. So this should only be a fairly short video, but what I want to talk about today is some changes that have been announced for the Ephinea server, which relate to the anniversary events. Now obviously we've just had the anniversary event for Ephinea's 10th anniversary, and the event went pretty well. But there are a few issues that have happened with the event over the last couple of years that have got progressively worse, I would say, over the last couple of years in particular. And it's something that the team behind Ephinea are obviously very aware of, and to respond to this, they've announced some changes that are going to take place for the next anniversary onwards. Now, just to say, some of these may be subject to change as time goes on. Some things they have said are fixed and are set in stone. But what I'm going to do today is I'm going to get into these changes that have been announced so far, just so people are prepped for the anniversary for next year. They wanted to announce these changes very early so that people who come back to Ephinea specifically to play for the anniversary are aware of what it's going to be like next year, so they can make a choice whether they want to come back for it or not. So with that being said, let's get on to the changes. So all of these changes are in a post on the Ephinea forums. It's also linked on the Ephinea Discord as well in the announcement section. I will also leave a link to this post in the description of the video as well if you want to go and check it out. But essentially, the changes are quite in-depth for next year. The anniversary for next year sounds like it's going to be more or less completely different. Now, first of all, let's talk about the reasons why this is happening. So there was a big problem with the way the anniversary event was held, which was that, for anyone who doesn't know, the way the anniversary basically worked was that we had to run all of the different maximum attack E quests, and we'd earn points towards unlocking different boosts for the server. The downside was that people would just tend to spam the Forest quest in particular, because Forest had a lot of things going for it. It was the easiest quest to run, it was very, very quick and easy to run, so you could farm badges from completing it. It had a lot of very valuable drops in it, so White Hill could use it for Handgun Miller, you could use it for Heaven Punisher with Blue Full, you could use it for high hit frozen shooters. So although it was an easy area, it was also still valuable to do. And the problem was that so many people ran Forest that it meant that the other areas were really far behind, and because of that the boosts take a lot longer to unlock. And that's kind of not in the spirit of how I think they intend the event to be run. And this has happened for a few years now, but it has got progressively worse over the last few. So to counter this, they are making some very, very big changes to how the anniversary is going to work from next year onwards. So what are the changes then? So one of the first changes is a really, really big one, which is the maximum attack E event quests are going to be completely removed from the game. Now, there is a catch with that. This only applies to the event versions of the maximum attack E quests, which are the ones that are active during the anniversary quests. There is ones you can run all year round that are much longer versions of the quests. They will still be available to run, but the event specific versions are all going to be removed, so you will not be able to run those quests anymore. The other little caveat with this is that the August Atrocity quests, which are alive during the anniversary, which are the Omnispawn quests, they will still be active. I personally really like the August Atrocity quests for the most part. I have a few issues with them, but for the most part I really like them, so I'm glad to see they're staying. But the maximum attack E event quests will all be taken out of the game completely. And again, that's only for the event specific versions though. The other massive change is that anniversary badges will no longer be obtainable. So during previous events we've had these anniversary badge currencies, which are bronze, silver and gold badges. They are all going to be removed for forthcoming anniversaries. Now what they've said is the badge exchange quest will still remain up after the anniversary event, so there's no rush to actually spend all of your badges at the moment, but just be aware that the badges you've got now are the only badges you will be able to get. So think carefully about what you want to exchange them for. So it might sound bad so far, we're getting rid of all the quests for the anniversary, we're getting rid of the currency, what's the point? Well, the point is that they're bringing in a lot of new stuff as well. So what are they going to add instead? So Matt on the forums has already posted that next year there will be a new series of quests for the anniversary, which will be completely new quests. They said that basically the maximum attack E quests have been around for about 9 years now, and they want to change things up, and obviously the issue is with Forest getting spammed over and over hasn't helped towards that, so you can understand them wanting to go for something new. He goes on to say that the quests will all have very similar difficulty, and there will not be an option to simply play the easiest quest in the game for full event rewards. So by that he's very, very obviously referencing Forest. It also says that they would encourage players to level up and find better weapons to be able to take on the event content, and there will not be a quest entirely based in Forest. So Forest will still be potentially in one of the quests, but it won't be the only area. So it kind of sounds like they're going to make it a bit harder to specifically spam Forest. For anyone who thinks that's a bit unfair because of other areas that were spammable, just bear in mind that for Forest you still have quests like Tyrell's Ego, which are very, very good for spamming Forest, so you've still got that. Also for event currency, so yes, they're getting rid of anniversary badges, but they're going to replace them with some kind of anniversary token. And they're going to function slightly differently to how the badges currently work. So the way the badges work at the moment is you have the bronze, silver and gold badges, and technically the platinum badge, but we won't count that for the purposes of this video. The way the badges work currently is that there is an exchange shop for bronze badges, one for silver badges and one for gold badges. And if you want, say, a photon sphere, it will cost you X amount of gold badges. And that's how it works currently. The way that they're going to change it now is, instead of having these sort of rankings on the currency, each quest in the event will reward its own type of token. And they're going to make it so that the items in the exchange shops will require different amounts of different tokens. So you might have an item, for example, that requires one token from, again, this is all theoretical, but you could have one item that requires some tokens from a quest in episode 1 and some tokens from a quest from episode 2. So you need to run episode 1 and episode 2 quests to be able to get the item in the exchange shop. It's basically there to basically funnel people into the different quests, rather than them just all focusing on one individual quest and spamming that one over and over again. So it sounds to me like a pretty good way of trying to get around the Forest problem. I don't think it's necessarily a perfect solution, but there was definitely a big problem with the Forest quest. You know, if you look at these scores from the last anniversary, the difference in clears for Forest was ridiculous. And pretty much every time you saw a banner for a rare drop, it was nearly always for a Forest drop. It was ridiculous how much people ran it, and that's been a problem for the last few years in particular. So he does go on to say that these tokens will be tradable, so if you don't want to play a specific quest, so say if you really don't like Seabed, for example, and you need Seabed badges, then you could still trade for those Seabed badges if you wanted to. Finally, for anyone who liked the idea of the Anniversary Platinum badge, you know, the super rare drop that would give you a crazy item if you traded it in, they do say that there is still going to be a plan to have an equivalent of that. It'll just be some kind of token, I imagine, instead. Finally, it does also say that the rest of the anniversary features, such as the unlock system and all the boost milestones and everything, that's still probably going to be in place. So that's not going to change. It's just the core function of the anniversary event is going to change somewhat. So instead of getting badges, we'll be getting some kind of tokens. And instead of running one specific area for each of the anniversary event quests, we'll be running quests that maybe go into multiple areas. They haven't really revealed any details about what the quests are going to be like yet. Obviously, it's still a year till the next anniversary, so they've got plenty of time to do that. But they basically wanted to announce these changes very, very early because there are a lot of people who play Ephinea specifically for the anniversary event. They will literally not touch the game for most of the year, and then will go on the game during the anniversary and grind it like crazy during those few weeks. So for those players, they wanted to be transparent about the changes that were forthcoming. So they've got plenty of time to decide if it's something they still want to deal with. So I kind of want to hear what you guys have to say about the changes. For anyone who did the anniversary, do you think these changes are a good step forward, or do you think it's misguided? I personally think it's a good idea. I know some people have concerns about it, and I don't think it will stop people from spamming Forest necessarily, because I think people will just spam Tyrell's Ego instead. But I suppose if people do that, they're not going to earn points towards the event, and they're also not going to earn tokens. I'm not entirely sure if the tokens will drop as drops as well, or if they're just going to be rewards for completing the quests. If they're just rewards for completing the quest, then you won't get any for just doing Tyrell's Ego, so it does kind of incentivize you to actually run the event quests. And because of how the new exchange system works, it sounds like they're incentivizing running various different event quests rather than just spamming the same one over and over again. It did become a bit of a meme on my streams with people spamming Forest, so I am very glad to see them changing it, because it was getting really tiring just seeing people spam Forest over and over again. I understand some people want to run it because they want a Heaven Punisher, and you know, during the anniversary that might be one of the better ways of getting it. But it kind of didn't go in the spirit of the event, and it was actually harmful to us unlocking some stuff as well. because our score was tied to the lowest rank quests. If people were just running Forest over and over again, then it wasn't really contributing to us unlocking the boosts. I think once the boosts were all unlocked, then yeah, sure, we'd go wild on Forest, but it kind of felt like it was punishing us a little bit. To the point where, I believe it was last year's anniversary, we didn't actually unlock everything. Because people ran Forest so much that we didn't actually unlock all of the boosts. We did this year, but if people didn't spam it as much, maybe we could have unlocked them a lot faster as well. So yeah, there's a lot to think about. I am glad that Ephinea have been very transparent with this and announced it really early, because it gives players time to sort of process it, and also gives you time to sort out your anniversary badges as well, because I think announcing it now is a good idea, because the last thing you want to do is use all your anniversary badges and then the server announce that they're not going to drop next year, and all of a sudden you've just used all of your badges. So by doing this, they're basically saying, like, yes, you can still use your badges, but you're not going to get any more of them, so be careful what you trade them for. So yeah, quite a quick video today, but we'll end up there for today, I think. I just want to hear what you guys think about these changes. Do you think it's a positive step? Do you think it might solve some of the problems that we've had in the event previously? And for those of you who've maybe not done it before, does this interest you, the way that it's sounding like it's going to run? But yeah, if you have enjoyed the video, consider either liking or subscribing, or join as a member if you want to on YouTube. You can also follow or sub on Twitch. I have an Bluesky that you can follow, and I also have a Discord server you can join as well, so feel free to join us over there. There should be a link to that in the description. So whatever you're doing, have a good week, and I'll see you guys in the next one.